So we're here with Professor Sunil Gupta from Harvard Business School. He's here in Copenhagen today because we are launching his new book, Driving Digital Strategy. And Sunil, could you briefly help us understand what is the book all about?
So the book is about the digital transformation that companies are going through. Every company is affected by technology, and the business models are changing very rapidly. So this is based on the 10 years of my research to say how businesses are adapting, what new forms of business models are emerging, and what are the challenges they face as they go through this transition.
And if we start with some of those challenges, so the 10 years of research, what kind of challenges do you typically see?
I think the one thing that I saw is most companies are taking piecemeal approach. So either they use technology for cost efficiency purposes, or they use some experimentation, which becomes very tactical kind of experiments, or they set up a separate unit, which is like launching a speedboat to turn a large ship, which doesn't happen. So the idea that I tell in the book is not one piece at a time. You have to do two things simultaneously. You have to strengthen the core of the business that you have, but you also build for the future. And in the book, I talk about 4 elements that the company has to do: rethink their strategy, rethink their operations and value chain, connect with the customers in a different fashion, and change the organization. So all things have to fit together. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle.
And you have to do that simultaneously, I assume.
And that's the challenge. That imagine you're flying a plane and the engine of the plane caught fire because of digital disruption. So you've got to change the engine of the plane while flying because you're running a business. You can't stop the business. And that's the hard part as to how do you run the business but change at the same time.
So who needs to take ownership of this process in the companies? Where does it all start?
I think it starts very much from the top, from the CEO, because the CEO has to have the vision as to what this transformation will take place. And also, quite honestly, in this changing world, even the CEO or anybody, nobody knows exactly how the transformation will happen. All you can see, and one top CEO told me a very good analogy. He says, this is a 40-step journey. We can only see 5 or 6 steps ahead of us because after that there's fog. But as I climb 2 or 3 steps, I see another 3 steps. And even if I think I'm going in this direction, because of the change in direction, change in technology, change in business models, I might have to go in a sort of zigzag fashion. So the journey is never linear, but you have a general sense of direction as to where you have to go.
And this also tells a little bit about the complexity and the uncertainty and the volatility that we see in basically all industries around the world at the moment. So how is it that you mobilize the courage to actually get started? Because this is something that we typically see is that people start too late. You also mentioned that at a point in time.
Yeah. So again, I think that's where the leadership comes in, which is to say the status quo is the worst position to be in. If you stay, it's again taking my plane analogy. If your engine of your plane is on fire, if you do nothing, the plane is going to go down. And you know that. In some industries, the plane is going down faster, let's say newspaper industry. In some cases, it's going to go down slow. So you just have to look at the history and look at the examples of Kodak or BlackBerry, and you know even the largest and very successful companies can't stay still. And I guess the one analogy I was given a long time ago is that business is like biking uphill. The moment you stop pedaling, you fall down.